Great to be here again at VRIC. 2025, since we last were here, was a transformational year. It's certainly a year that we are using as a springboard to develop one of the most attractive and developable mines in the country, if not the world. We are essentially using our project, which we defined in February through a PEA. At the time, the project was top of class as it relates to all of the metrics from an NPV perspective, $2 billion after tax NPV, 29% after tax IRR, 1.9-year payback, nearly a 30-year project. The key difference between then and now is that obviously commodity prices. Commodity prices have really enabled projects like this to be accelerated because of its economic attractiveness. We used a $21.50 gold price and about $4.20 copper price in February. Since then, gold price has gone to over $5,000 today and almost close to $6 of copper. This is really imperative as it relates to developing a project like ours, de-risking it, getting it re-rated as we expedite the development process, which is what we're committed to do. But that's not it. That is the value opportunity that we kind of have seen in cycles in the past that create the most amount of value in the current environment. But the second component is quite exceptional in terms of the growth proposition. We have a 40-kilometer porphyry, bona fide porphyry district, four deposits and one operating mine, historical operating mine that spans this 50-kilometer district, of which we own 40 kilometers of. And so that's just what's going to be driving the growth proposition over the next 12 months. So how are we going to put this all together? Okay, so we are now fully funded to move this project forward as quickly as possible through the preliminary economic assessment to the PFS, which is when we are going to expect that by the end of the year. Through this process, we are going to be announcing our metallurgical test work, our resource, updated resource estimates, which, by the way, does not include one of the two discoveries that we have made over the last 2 years. This is going to have a positive impact. We've released all of the results. You could see the impact it's going to have as per our releases, and that is going to be something that's going to, again, drive the PFS as well. From a district scale exploration play, we're going to be advancing three stages. One, to enhance the project economics, to make it bigger and better. Two, to focus on grade times tonnage, so grade, tonnage, and size. And three is to explore the full district scale opportunity, which is going to come out, our program is going to come out in the next couple of months. So in terms of our project, it is a very attractive project, not only from a size, materiality perspective, from a return, payback, and materiality. So this is something that has underpinned our value up to now, and it's something that we're going to continue to advance. In terms of the political environment, we believe we are one of the top priority projects in British Columbia to get advanced. And the reason behind that is because we are on the island. We're literally right next to the coast in the northern end of the island. The infrastructure around our area, north of Campbell River, was pretty much built for the BHP Island Copper Mine, which was in production for 24 years. This is our 40 kilometers of the 50 kilometers trend that I was talking about. This is 100% owned by NorthIsle. Just outside that trend is the BHP Island Copper Mine, which extends to the 50-kilometer strike of this district. That's what it looks like today. One of the closest deep-sea water ports from continental America to Japan. That means no pipelines, no additional major infrastructure is needed to transport this material to the end customer. We have an excess and abundance of power capacity. There's 100 megawatts of power supplied by a local wind farm at Cape Scott. All of this really does culminate into the political support that we have received and we continue to receive by our First Nation partners and also the provincial and federal governments. So the key thing to understand is that's what allows us to feel very confident about our project. That value re-rating, de-risking process in an upward trending commodity price environment that we're seeing today is what we believe is the value driver for this company. But the growth driver for this company is just as, if not more exciting, in the sense that we have this playground of 40 kilometers porphyry district with terabytes worth of data, 70 years worth of data that we can synthesize with the help of collaborative groups like Stanford Mineralex we've just signed an agreement with to ensure that our exploration program is something that is credible, it is judicious, but it's aggressive. And as we grow into the multi-billion-dollar company, that is something we can achieve. So the first part of the strategy is to enhance the high-grade, high-margin area in our project economics, which, as we've seen, has a massive impact economically. The second focus for this year's program is to focus on the near-term grade and tonnage question. How do we get grade and tonnage? Well, we've come out with our plan thinking that it is going to be established close to surface and close to nearby deposits. That's what we've concluded in our review, 2025 review. And the third part of the equation is going to be district scale. And so this is where the terabytes worth of data comes into play when you look at finding that needle in a haystack. It is high risk, but it is extremely high return if you can get that one hole that shows that you do have that district scale potential. And the thing, as I said, that makes us comfortable as a management team is the underpinning value isn't that. It's actually the de-risking, the re-rating of our project as we go through quickly. This is option value. This is something that gets generated through risk-tolerant behavior, but advanced in a judicious way. And I think we've, as a management team over the last couple of years, have shown that we can achieve both. Being aggressive, aspirational, but also having achievable objectives going forward. So this is what the market has done. So they essentially are saying today, who are the companies that are attempting to solve the world's problems? Who are the people that are going to be part of the solution around the world's problems? And for us, it's copper and gold. Copper is the electrification metal. You cannot decarbonize, you cannot expand your AI infrastructure without the distribution of power, and copper is a critical metal for that. But we also have a critical currency in gold. And gold obviously is that store of value that we're seeing today that's causing it to drive over $5,000 per ounce. That is what is separating us from the rest of our peer group, is not only we do have the potential solution to the world's problems, but we've also shown executional excellence and credibility on setting our goals at the beginning of the year, which we did last week in our press release, and then systematically achieving those goals to be a credible solution to the problem. That is why we have outperformed over our peer group over the last, choose the period, 1 year, 2 years, 5-year period. We have outperformed during the entire group. And it's not for the lack of having a very strong, supportive, and growing shareholder base that we're now evolving into that institutional community. So we're well funded, over $40 million of cash to fund us through to pre-feasibility study and the end of sanctioning by the end of this year. Look, I've been in the industry for 30 years now. Never have I seen such political alignment for natural resource extractive industries in Canada. My chairman, who's 87 years old, the last time he's seen this level of appetite politically was back in the 60s, when you start to see government funding big infrastructure projects like the ones we have just to the south of our project. So this is an unprecedented time where we are taking advantage of our extraordinary land package and assets to quickly move through this process with the support of our First Nation, municipal, provincial, and federal governments. So none of this happens with an excellent core group. We have a blue chip group of directors and management teams that have worked from companies like VRIC and BHP to CIBC, all of the major institutions that have brought tier 1 world-class assets into fruition. That is the team that you are investing in today, and that's the team that is looking to execute our strategies moving forward, and I might say has successfully done so over the last 5 years. So with that, this is going to be, 2026 is going to be a transformational year. We're going to use our successes over the last 5 years as a springboard to accomplish what we believe are very aggressive, aspirational yet achievable goals to ensure we get to that next level in a time that the world is asking for solutions to major problems, and we believe that we can execute them successfully. Any plans to list in the U.S.? Yeah, absolutely. We're now broaching $1 billion company. We have liquidity at a million shares a day. We organically achieved the $2 threshold without consolidation. Like a lot of these junior companies consolidate to give the impression that they are a $2 company. We did that organically. So yes, all of the asset and the U.S. market right now is very, very open for critical metal opportunities and to some extent gold, precious metal opportunities. This is trillions of dollars of capital that is potentially available to the mining industry if we're judicious and have a strong strategy on how to access it. This is a pool of capital that is beyond what we've seen here in Canada historically. And so that's a great question. How do you do it? Well, you show successes, you become that solution to the problem, and then you execute and you do what you say you're going to do. Thanks for the question. Thanks, everybody.